So I'm on the final disc of Seraph of the End, Blu-ray side. Look. This is the final disc. It's even the background, man. This. Look at that. It's canon. So I only got 2 episodes left. I think I'm going to try to finish it this week. I'm not sure. But it for sure will be finished by Monday. Holy cow, guys. This has been a heck of a journey, man. A heck of a journey. There's no way they're going to be able to have a decent conclusion in just these upcoming episodes. I don't see it. I imagine the Seraph of the End fandom has to be just full of angst and pins and needles, just forever waiting for season 3. I'm feeling it, guys. I'm not ready. Episode starts out where Shinya is trying to convince this remaining dude to leave, but he's still in shock over his totally dead and not sleeping 2 comrades. I mean, if they still haven't got up after all this commotion, they'd be dead. Or they're just really good at playing dead. He ends up slapping him, obviously, and then they run away. Shinya lives another day. Meanwhile, Mika is struggling to carry a still unconscious Yu to safety. And he's struggling. His wounds aren't healing. He needs blood. And he's just like, come on, man, wake up. Unfortunately, his remaining blood supply has just been broke in the attack. So he really has no more blood. And it's not looking good for him, dude. It's not looking good at all. Look at that look of despair in his eyes. He's like, crap, I'm screwed. He eventually tries to, slap him awake and shake him, you need to wake up. I can't carry you any more than this, when he notices there's somebody nearby. It's a little boy, stupid kid. Anyway, so he runs inside and there's a bunch of other kids there, but they do not help him. They're cowards too. They're like, YOLO, nice knowing you, Ted. Ted, why do I think he's a Ted? You know what? He's a Ted. His little boy's name is Teddy now. And he's straight up gonna, suck his blood. But then the little boy, Ted, calls him a monster and he's like, crap. I'm sorry, Teddy boy. I'm not a monster. And he lets him go, and then the kids all run away. Mika ends up dragging Sleeping Beauty into that store, thinking, well, this might be a good place to hide out, at least until he wakes up. Sleeping Beauty doesn't fully wake up, but he wakes up, I guess, in his mind. So I guess he was just black, no dreams, no consciousness whatsoever for a long time. What the heck did that coffin do to him? But he ends up waking up in his mind, at least, and he's talking to, the trap demon, and he's like, hey, what's going on? What happened to Gurren? Blah, blah, blah. And the demon's like, I know just as much as you, because I only see what you see, and you have only seen darkness for a while. Sumaru then says, you shouldn't even be worrying about Gurren. You should be worrying about a different member of your family. And that pretty much startles him awake. He wakes up and he sees a huddled vampire, his back facing him. And he takes out his sword to attack when he realizes, dude, it's Mika. Is that you? Of course it is, dummy. I don't know. Anyway, so he actually goes and leaps at him because he can't control his bloodlust. At first he seems pretty scared, but then he seems to accept it, this is okay. And he apologizes to Mika because he doesn't blame Mika. He blames himself. And him apologizing kind of wakes Mika up. And he's like, crap. He pushes him away and he says, don't come near me. I can't control this right now. And the bloodlust is too strong. It hurts. It hurts so much, And Yu's like, well, that's okay. Just, drink some of my blood. Things start to get a little shippy and Yu starts taking off his shirt, the collar. He's like, come on, it's cool. You can do that. I just got you back. I'm not going to lose you again. But, Mika wants no part of that. He's like, I have withstood this for so long. I can't give in now. I don't want to be a monster to you. We then get this really hilarious scene where Yu's like, if you die because you refuse to drink blood and you just die, I will. And he's like, I will cry. And Mika's like, really? You're gonna cry if I don't do this? Really? How childish. And they start bickering. And it was like no time had passed, you know? And I'm just like, oh, it was hilarious. I was like, I wanted to just cry a little bit before, but now I'm laughing, you know? Yu then cuts his arm and he's like, here, drink this. And we get this cool scene of the blood dripping down with Mika's face reflected on it, like you see here. And honestly, visually, the scene was very interesting, very compelling, and it was like almost like a gothic horror romantic thing. I don't know. I liked it. I digged it. Naturally, he gives in. It was only a matter of time. I'm surprised it took him this long. But he doesn't go for the arm that's dripping with blood. He's like, screw that. And he goes straight for the neck. And we get like the most romantic looking scene ever. Like, if you don't want people to ship this, don't have a scene like this at all. I mean, then there's a scene of him like leaning against the shelf and he's just petting his hair as Mika sucks his blood from his neck. This is the most vampire erotic thing I've seen since Vampire Night. Oh my god. In here, my ladies, gents, and all those in between, is the last moment that we see Mika with those gorgeous blue eyes. Can we just take a moment to grieve? Goodbye, blue eyes. You were so beautiful. I also like the scene of his eyes turning red. That was really cool. Honestly, I do love him with red eyes too. It's just weird now since I was so used to seeing it with blue eyes. But I still love the red eyes. It was just kind of like a little bittersweet, you know? Like, I enjoyed the transition, but it was like we lost what little innocence Mika had left, which I think is what they were kind of going for. The innocent human side of him that had, you know, I guess goodness is gone, and now he's a full-fledged vampire. What does that mean? I don't know yet, but we'll see how much Mika changes now in personality. Also, look how flirty Yu is with him in this scene. Like, the episode is called Mika and You, and that's why it's like it was, you were rewarded for this whole amount of time with no interaction with this very episode. Was it worth the reward and the wait? I don't know. But I enjoyed what little I had. Upon leaving, Mika gets very jealous about him talking about the other team. And Yu is like, hey, it's cool, but we need to go help my other family. And Mika's like, no, you can't. You're staying with me, and humans are filthy and blah, blah, blah. And they have a little disagreement, but eventually Mika reluctantly relents to help the very few people that are in that group, but no one else. Yu was very happy that Mika agreed and gives him a big hug, and we get another shippy moment. I have a feeling that in any AMV I make with these two, I will be predominantly using this episode. Yu grabs Mika's hand and leads him away, and we get a shadowy focus on their hand-holding. Could this be a hint at how canon they are? I don't know, but I'll take it. The crew is waiting for the people to come pick him up, but nobody's there. And they're also there waiting for, hopefully, Mika to bring Yu back. Well, at least, you know, the 4 of the family members are. But honestly, even if they get there, I can't imagine the other people also waiting would be very willing to let Mika be there. I don't see this ending well for Mika. I think he's gonna get attacked. I don't know. Just call me crazy, but honestly, I think if I was Mika, I would knock you out and then take him away. Further than this craziness. Mika is driving you towards the airport because they were told to meet at the airport. Which, how do they know what airport to meet at? There has to be several freaking airports in this place, but they somehow know to go to the exact airport? I don't know. I just call it fishy. Anyways, Mika informs you about the whole human experimentation thing and the whole seraph at the end, blah, blah, blah. And he knows most of it, but he didn't know half of it. And that's why Mika really hates humans. And he's like, hey, this is ridiculous. You know, we shouldn't even be helping those humans. But he also doesn't want to help the vampires either, you know. But humans are filthy, okay? He has extreme prejudice against humans. You tries to tell him, you know, that not all humans are bad. You know, he's like, you know, technically you as a human. I don't think he's really as human as he thinks he is. I feel like he's becoming more like demonic seraphy than human at this point. You know, and he's like, and you might be a vampire now, but I'm going to find a way to turn you back into a human as well. So please don't hate all humans. He also seems doubtful that they would even be able to find a place that would be considered paradise for them, where they wouldn't be affected or found by either humans or vampires. And they're both after you because of the seraph and the end thing. And he now knows that. He's like, there's just this reality. There's nothing else. Poor, naive you then says, well, if you still want to escape, we could ask my friends, my family, to help us, and they can help us get out of here. I don't think they would allow this. I don't see this going well. And obviously it doesn't go well because the manga is still ongoing. Again, I haven't read any of the manga. But the fact that this is still ongoing and there's still crap going on, I cannot imagine that they find their little pocket of paradise anytime soon. Mika, rightfully so, mind you, still isn't sure if he can trust the small group that you consider his family. And he definitely doesn't trust Gurren because he's using him, even if you knows he's being used. And, oh, that really hurt how earlier in the episode he even said, you know, that Micah's technically using him and he doesn't mind being used because he owes them so much for what they did in his life. And Mika's like, I don't want to use you, you know? So it hurts. And the episode ends with the bombshell that the experiment that they'd been working on, the person, is no other than Shiho's sister. Dude, Shiho is gonna be pissed when he finds out. Like I said, I am going to try to finish it this week, if not at the start of next week. It all depends. I have a doctor's appointment this week, and I don't know how much that's going to take up my time. Also, I am going to try to do Heaven's Official Blessings when that comes out, and that's coming out in 2 weeks. So if I can get a hold of the clips and stuff to make screenshots, I will definitely be doing that. And that is a Chinese BL, kind of like the Untamed / Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation and Scumbag Villain, all made honestly by the same author. So, and I have only briefly read the novel because it's just too freaking lengthy. So I would be mostly reacting blind to it after a certain point. So yeah. So expect that. Other than that, I eventually will get back to doing more Cheer Boys, obviously, and a couple other things. I'm looking at potentially doing a blind episode summary thing also on the new Sherlock Holmes anime that just came out based on Moriarty. So if that is of interest, let me know. Anyways, and that's just pretty much it. So goodbye.